lush green fields of the Philippines, rolling through tropical village scenes. New friends made along the way, sharing stories at the break of day.
Hello and welcome to Arizona Trails, the Philippine Tales. My name is Steve and this is week number 73 of the Philippine House Build. But before we get into that, again, there's always a place. Doesn't necessarily have to be the Philippines, but some place that treats both you and your money well. Again, there's a lot of economic things taking place and you just have to be a little bit stealthy. All right, here is Tinfoil Hat to Retirement.
Put on my tinfoil hat, tuned into the static. Aliens, toxicity, now isn't that dramatic? Pencil necks and poker faces, twister cuffs and laws, while Congress trades in oil stocks with zero just because. In the lands of the brave and the broke, run means right laws and satire spoke. We revolted for tea, but now it's clear. You'll pay 40%, just smile and cheer. King Trump on a golden throne, Queen Harris with a megaphone. Their helper signs in crayon red, while real estate quakes under your bed. Trump took Bismarck for your feels, liberty's mass spinning socialist wheels. From rents gone wild to secret stocks, we laugh so hard it bends the clocks.
All right, that was Tinfoil Hat to Retirement, so now we're going to go ahead and get into the house build. We're actually here at nighttime instead of during the day. We had to come out here. Mob Wood was doing some final touches on some things. And so again, just to look out here in the living room, basically they did the lighting for the TV here in the living room. So again, on this entertainment system, we're just have backlighting for the TV. It does have switches that Mob Wood put in. So here they do have the switch for that, so just on and off for the TV. And then another thing that we did, and I'm always amazed by the Filipino. They adapt, they overcome, and they find new ways of doing things. And we had a painter who was actually working in one of the bedrooms, but the supervisor didn't bring in the paint, so my wife, Flora, started talking to him. And he suggested that he said that he could actually paint marble or give the illusion of marble. And so what he did was the columns that are here in the living room, he actually painted, as you can see here, painted a marble looking pillar. It almost looks like tiles. He hand drew this. And then he used an emulsion and coated it with emulsion to give it that gloss look. So he did that with all these pillars here. You can see here, there's a pillar behind the door and that. And then when you look down the hallway, it's consecutive. So these were all the pillars that he did down the hallway, and we think that he did a really good job. And when you look at it up close, it almost seems like tile or real marble. So again, he did really good with that. Let's see here. If we look outside, I'm just going to stick the camera out here. They are working on the wall out here. So here is the wall. So see, they've got the wall all the way down to the end there and going towards the street. So eventually we're going to have the wall on this side. So that's good. They also put the trim down here below. So they've put the wood trim in. And then let's see what else they got here. So everything is back here working. I think they added a new, they gave us a trash can here in this cupboard, so here's the trash can pull out. All right, so that is something that they added, and I think they also added a cutlery drawer. So here's the cutlery drawer. Again, just tips and tricks for certain things that they are doing here. So again, the lights are on, the pillars are done, backlighting for the TV. They're still using the powder room in here, I think, for storage of the paints. So not much has been done in here. Let's see here. Yeah, they're just storing paint and other things in here. And then let's go in this room back here. I'll come back to, or the dirty kitchen area. All right. So this area is still the same. Same pillar, glossy look. You can see the shine of the lights on it, so it looks like marble. And then this room. All right, so in this room here, they're starting to clean things out, and they're going to repaint, put a final paint in all the rooms as well. So this is going to be the toilet for this bedroom. And everything is clean. Let's see if they did anything in here. No. All right, so this bathroom's pretty much ready. Just final touches, final little touches need to be. Oh, and that's another thing. So the same painter that's doing the marble columns in the living room, he's also going to do the doors. So he's going to sand it and wood filler it and then lacquer it. And it should be a nice shiny door, and he's going to do all the doors as well. And then plus he's painting the bedrooms. So here is this cabinetry, and this one has a couple of different lights on it. And here's the switch for these. Again, this is just an idea that you can have. So in this cabinetry, we have lights for the shelving, we have backlights for the TV. So again, just an idea. Basically, if we ever did have family or guests that come to the Philippines, we want to make sure that they have their own room, own bathroom, own entertainment system, closet area, so that way they sort of have some alone time as well. All right, so that's this bedroom. I think they're still working in, oh, they locked the door to this bedroom, so there must be a lot of material in that bedroom, so that's why that door is locked. We really are looking to move in. So basically what's taking place is we're waiting on our water tanks, and basically when the water tanks come in, we're going to try and move in. So that's why this room is trying to get clean as much as possible. They did put the wood trim down all in the bedroom here. Glass sliding doors is closed, sort of. Let's go ahead here, close this. All right. They are working on still tiled, everything is there. I think this portion of this is complete. Here is this wall entertainment system. However, they were supposed to come back in and do the backlighting, and the funny thing was our engineers were, so we have an electrical engineer, and the electrical engineer was sort of changing the switches that Mob Wood was trying to create for the TV and other areas. So let's see. Oh, yes. So they did. So this is the backlighting for the TV. So basically, if I turn off the rest of the lights here, so this will be, and you know, once we take the covers off the TVs and everything, so it's just backlighting, something that's different there. Now the question is, now that those are done, and then these two lights here should be, yes. So we do have the center lights there. All right, so there's two lights there. And what will that look like without that? All right, so it does sort of provide some light. It's definitely a good night light is the track lighting, so that's nice. All right, and then we'll go into the walk-in closet, and I think everything is complete in here. I know they were even working on painting in here. Okay, there's the mirror light, and there's the walk-in closet light. They put trim up here, so there's now trim. Oh, that reminds me. Remember in a previous video when I said, you know, I didn't really like how they should have stopped at the front door, or by the door there, they should have stopped there. And then they had taken off the wood paneling at the top, and I says, you know, I would really like it if they put that wood back up because it did look nice. So that's what they did. They added the trim back up there at the top, across the wood paneling. So now that it's uniform, so it's uniform all the way across. So now that's good. And then that's all. So I'm glad that they've worked on it. I don't know if they did the baseboards, but I don't know if they're going to do like the wood trim up there. I don't know if they're going to do it underneath. You know, they don't really have to. I think it looks good, you know, because nobody's really looking at the floor too much or underneath the TV console. But definitely is an aesthetic view of the TV console here. That's what people will probably want to take a look at. All right, so back in this room, we do have the wood trim up there now going around. So the mirror works here. And then of course, we always showcase the, again, just an idea. You know, on Mobwood, they have a lot of different designs for cabinetry and other items. You know, they're just going by designs that they've done for other customers or other customers. So it's a sharing of design and ideas and light ideas. It's just an idea in which you two can also use in your builds. And I'll go ahead and turn these off in here and turn off the lights here. And we'll take a look at the bathroom again, I think. All right, so here is the bathroom. They did finally come in with the handle. So we do have glass in here. The handle is on. And I think the toilet is going to be put in. And this is a towel rack that they have to install. So one toilet, one towel rack. They need to put the shower in. And of course, that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on the water tanks to go outside and get that done. So we are moving right along. Turn these lights off. All right. So one of the bedrooms we weren't able to get into, but that's all right. At least you're seeing that some of the progress this week. Of course, they're going to start on that wall on the far side. We've had some painting done. We're trying to get this room in because as soon as those water tanks come, I think we are picking up the water tanks this coming Monday. And then we're going to try and get them installed, at least maybe one of the tanks installed. Maybe not both, because remember last week in the video I said that it takes 15 days for the concrete to cure on the little structure that's going to hold the water tanks. So we're going to try and get at least one water tank in, and then that will be our main source for water. And we'll start showering and using the toilets and the sinks and everything else. So that is good. So again, we'll turn off these lights here. All right. And then we'll go this way just to look at the dirty kitchen area, or the second kitchen. All right, so here's this, and I think I've also mentioned last week 10. So they do have that hooked up. So that's what we're using to go from 220 to 110. And just shelving in here. I don't think I showed these two shelves. All right. And I think they were working in this room here. Yes, so that's what they're doing in here, is they're just working on, if you look at the top, that's what they're doing. They're putting in that trim up there. So that's good. And again, that's where the laundry washer and dryer will sit. And let's see here. Okay, and then the quarters here is locked. And maybe this also is, yes, they've locked this door too. So, all right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go outside because I think I had showed that they were putting the tiles on the patio. So there's Flora right there sweeping. I'm gonna show the patio here. Oh, so we do have the patio, the gold. They finished everything on the stairs there. They've got the wood going across there. They did put tile on our columns. Now, in the original design, you can see they started tiling the sides here of the house. In the original design, they were only going to tile the center area right here. So this was supposed to be tiled, and then above the roof here. But there looks like they're actually tiling the whole wall in. But it's good because I like this tile. It's just going to make it all tiled here, and then this tile down here. And it is tiled all the way down. All right, so we still have the wall to finish here on the other side. And then once we get our gate, then we'll also have the garage to do, the driveway to do, and the parking. All right. So that is it for week number 73 of the Philippine House Build. Thank you again for joining Arizona Trails to Philippine Tales. And we'll see you next week to show you what new changes have taken place. Thank you again. Bye-bye.